In this video, you will learn how to create and manage profiles via the AAT's built-in website. This video makes the following assumptions. 1. You are currently running Release 4 or later of the AAT firmware. 2. You have watched this segment on AAT website login. 3. You are currently connected to the AAT's website, have logged in, and are sitting at the home page. If you are not currently logged in and sitting at the home page of the AAT website, pause this video, navigate to the home page, and then restart this video to continue. Before covering creating and managing profiles, let's review what a profile is and some of the information that you can store there. In a nutshell, profiles contain the desired target alignment data for an individual antenna. But beyond just containing the target alignment data, there are many fields available to help with identifying the antenna, and you are encouraged to fill them out as completely as possible. The reason for providing more details is twofold. First, it makes for more professional-looking reports, and second, it helps remove some of the confusion that may exist when viewing captured results in report format when only the required information has been entered. To create a new profile, go ahead and click on the New Profile button. There are only 3 required fields on the New Profile form: Site, Sector, and Antenna Position. And these are the first 3 fields that you need to enter. For Site, enter ORL-333. For Sector, choose from one of the options in the pull-down menu. The most common options are listed. For this example, choose Alpha 1. Notice that when you select any of the sectors in the pop-down list, the azimuth is also changed to the most common value for the selected option. You can, of course, overwrite the default azimuth if needed. For antenna position, enter A1 to finish out the required field entry for this profile record. It is important to remember that you and your customer define the format of these fields. Although these fields are required in each profile data record, the contents of the fields will be different depending on your customer's needs and requirements. In most cases, the required antenna position data is listed in the carrier's RF datasheet. Another important item to keep in mind with antenna position is that different carriers number their antennas differently. Some may number them 1 to 3 when you're standing behind the antenna, and others may number them 1 to 3 when standing in front of the antenna. Other common values are LTE-1, UMTS-1, GSM-1, GSM-2, etc. You'll need to clarify these identification schemes with your customer to ensure that the antennas are properly identified and that accurate information will be displayed on your reports. As previously mentioned, most of the antenna designator tags are shown in the carrier's RF datasheet. The next information that needs to be entered is the target measurement data for this profile. Go ahead and enter 0 for azimuth, which is typical in a perfect world. For mechanical down tilt, enter 1.0, and for roll or plumb, enter 0.0. Many carriers that are deploying electrical down tilt antennas, RETs, are requesting that a mechanical down tilt of 0.0 be used. The height field is also optional, and for now, leave it blank. You may recall that the AAT supports the use of an optional laser tape drop, which, if you have purchased the option, can be used to automatically enter the antenna height data into this field when measurements are being taken. Make sure that your carrier or contractor allows the use of the laser tape drop. Different carriers have different requirements, so it's best to verify that its use is allowed. For more information on using the laser tape drop, you may want to check out the video training segment on that feature. Finishing out the target measurement data is the latitude and longitude of the antenna. However, they are not required, so they will be skipped for this example. After entering the target measurement data, you come to the optional fields in the profile data record. As previously discussed, the site, sector, and antenna position uniquely identify any given antenna. However, entering additional data will provide more professionally formatted reports for you and your customer. Antennas that have electrical down tilt capabilities, sometimes referred to as RET, can be stored in the 2 fields labeled Expected Elect D-Tilt and Observed Elect D-Tilt. Moving on to the antenna serial number, this field can be useful in identifying the antenna. So enter SN4455777 for this example. Sometimes the RET serial number is stored in this field. If the carrier has tower-mounted amplifiers, remote radio units, or mast head amplifiers, the serial number data can be collected and stored in the TMA RRU MHA SN field. For carrier, use SunSite Carrier Inc. Then use a market abbreviation of ORL-NE, short for Orlando Northeast, and then enter the full market name of Orlando Northeast. For job description, enter optimization of 3G, and then for PO/reference number, enter something that will help tie this profile to a specific job, such as a PO number. For this example, enter 123777. For the site description, enter Kmart Rooftop at 1792 and Highway 436. And for now, just skip over the notes field. Remember, these fields are free-form text, so you can enter pretty much anything based on your needs. After entering as many details as you can, go ahead and press the Submit button to save this profile record. Once the profile record has been saved, the alignment details will be displayed, showing all of the data that was just entered for this antenna position. At this point, you are ready to climb the tower and take the measurements on this specific antenna. However, since there are normally 3 sectors on a given site, your next step would usually be to create the profile records for those other 2 sectors on the site. In order to streamline this process, you can clone an existing profile, which will pre-populate all of the data fields with the contents of the cloned profile record. Let's see how this is done. When you are on the alignment details screen of any site's profile record, just below the site, sector, and antenna position values, you will see several buttons: Clone, Previous Profile, Next Profile, and Delete. To create a copy or clone of an existing profile, simply click the Clone button. And then, instead of re-entering all of the data, you just change the sector, antenna position, and azimuth. In our case, set them to Beta 2, B1, and 120. Notice that when you select Beta 2 from the drop-down list, the azimuth also changes to the most common value, which is 120. You can override the default azimuth if needed, but for our case, leave it at the default value of 120. Since the antenna serial number was added to our initial profile, go ahead and set this one to SN 4455778, and then press the Submit button to continue. The second profile is created and stored in the AAT memory. To finish out the profiles for this site, once again choose the Clone button and this time enter Gamma 3, G1, and 240 for sector, antenna position, and azimuth. Once again, for completeness, set the antenna serial number to SN 4455779. You can see how the clone feature speeds the ability to create an additional profile record needed for the site. At any time, you can review and/or update the profiles that are stored in memory by clicking the Profiles/Capture/Report link in the navigation area, and then clicking the desired site button, which is identified by the site name. For this example, select the ORL-333 site that the profiles were created for. The initial sector displayed will be Alpha 1, as you can see by reviewing the sector field on the screen. You can scroll through the different sectors by clicking on the Next Profile button below the antenna profile information. As you click the button, the next profile in the site is displayed until you reach the end of the list. The target alignment data and the optional description fields can be updated. And then the Update button is pressed in order to save the changes. Keep in mind that the optional fields in the profile record can be updated after the initial data entry. This allows items like the antenna serial number or TMA serial number to be updated on site if they are not available at the time of the initial profile creation. At this point, you are ready to climb the tower and get the measurements for this 3-sector, 3-antenna site that you just created. This concludes the video on creating profiles on the AAT using the web interface.